What's up, guys? As you could probably tell by the absolute chaos that's going on here on my table, I was not intending on shooting a video today. In fact, I have a lot of other things going on that I probably should be paying attention to, and I'm going to be leaving on a business trip in a few hours. However, I wanted to just recap for you guys what we did last night on the channel on an overclocking live stream with this Asus Strix RTX 4090. We actually broke the Port Royal 3D Mark World record, only to have it taken away some short time later. But this morning, I was able to come back with a different RTX 4090 and capture second on the leaderboard. Let's check out how that happened. So here are some highlights from that overclocking live stream showing you how we got from our initial setup to a world record. I was working with Elmore Labs and they were able to provide me with a BIOS that basically unlocks this card, both voltage and power. And in some firmware stress testing, this card was drawing over 900 watts, which is absurd. We didn't quite get there during our 3D Mark runs. I guess firmware is really just a power virus. But still, we were pulling easily over 500 watts in each one of our runs, and having that unlocked voltage meant that we could really push the clocks and the memory higher and higher. So here's a quick recap of that and how we ended up with a world record score. All right, this should complete without any more pours, I think. This took like the whole thermos, which is quite a lot. This run should be high 28,000s, 28,654. I don't know how viewable that is on like this little screen here, but at least, you know, maybe it's a little bit easier for you to see. All right, so we're still voltage limited according to GPU-Z, and we only drew 493 watts. When I had Firmark up and running, let me see if I could demo that. What happens when I run Firmark. So I know you guys can't see that, but it says 840 watts. So this card has the ability to pull another 350 watts without issue. So since that is the case, let's get this card cold, and then we'll start working on our clocks. So we're at plus 175 now. We're going to go to plus 200. We're going to leave the memory the same. Memory's at plus 1500. This might be it. Yeah, it's going to be okay. All right, 28,850. So yeah, getting up there, but still the power was just pegged. I mean, the clock was just pegged, so we could go higher than that. Let's go, let's just jump to 250 and see what happens there. And the temperature is good. The temperature is minus 47 right now, so we're just going to go again. We froze. I don't like that. Okay, so just taking a look at GPU-Z over here. I'll read it out for you guys because I know you can't really make it out on the screen. GPU clock was 3180 and just rock solid stable. Did not move from 3180. Memory clock 1500, and the power was at 500 watts, 500.1 watts. So that tells me that, I mean, I could potentially back off our GPU to 225 and maybe start working on our memory a little bit. Let's try 1600 on the memory. All right, 28,983. Okay, getting there. And we used 505 watts. So taking the core down and increasing the memory clock caused us to use more power. So let's keep doing that. Let's try again. Let's try 1700. I've never, the only card that I've had run 1700 on the memory was my Gigabyte card. The Strix card has never run 1700, but with these, you know, with Elmore's help, maybe it'll happen. Who knows? Where are we at? 29,019. Okay, getting a little higher. So we're drawing that run only 480 480 watts. But the clock speeds were 3165 and stable. So yeah, for some reason I think that I could push higher on this clock. I don't know why it had crashed that one time. Maybe we'll try to go a little bit colder, like I said. And if that doesn't work out, we could always just take a pause and let it heat back up. So maybe I'll bring this down a little bit, and I'll bring the clocks up. Clocks back up to like 250 plus 250. Yeah. 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 Sweet zero. Let's warm this up a little bit. Mike says, our neighborhood is literally right behind an elementary school, but I feel like most of the kids stick to the north end of the neighborhood. I thought you weren't allowed to be near a school. Did that change? Did that get reversed? Good for you. All right, this failed. I think I might have to break down and remount. I don't know if you guys remember the last stream. I didn't have a spreader for my thermal paste, and Corsair sent me one. So here is a Corsair branded thermal paste spread. Still not sure about that. Shut up, Siri. I'm actually going to put these nuts on upside down because the top of them is wider than the base, so it might lead to better pressure. Let me bring this temperature down. Make sure that the pot and afterburner are in agreement with each other. Afterburner reading 24, pot reading 25. Yes, this is good. Generally want it between 5 and 10 degrees. You're never going to get it exact between the pot and the reading from the CPU itself, because the thermal probe is actually not reading the die. It's reading the pot. It's against the pot. So you want to try to get them as in line as possible by making the contact between the pot and the die as strong as possible. All right, so we're at plus 250 on the core, plus 1650 on the memory, and we'll see what happens. We're going to run this at minus 46. Wow. This is really not having it right now. Really not having it. What is going on? Let me go back to setting that we did before. So just 200 on the clock and 1500 on the memory. And let me see if this runs, because if it doesn't run, then we got a problem. 28801. Port Road, oh yeah, okay, valid, okay. 28801, good. So why don't I bump the memory up to 1550. Keep the temperature in the 40s, or the negative 40s. Leave the clock at plus 200. This run is not great. We're going to try a different run. 28,819. It's funny that I say that's crappy now. So we were pulling, again, we capped out at 415 watts. Like, that seems like we could go way higher than that. 28,963. See, we're like so close to what my current high score is, but still, it seems still so far, and still only 415 watts is what we're drawing, like at peak. 3180. The core was running at 3180. 1.12 volts now, so we've got back up to our. Oh, you crashed. You mother. That was going to be a good one. All right, 29,057. So at least we broke 29,000 tonight. Yeah. So let's keep pushing it here. Why not? Right? We're at 1550. Let's go plus 1600 on the memory and leave the core where it is, because we're clocking at 3195 and we're only drawing 503 watts. Yeah, thanks very much to Nori and to Romans for stopping by. Really appreciate the pillars of the LN2 overclocking community, the extreme overclock community, like supporting this, because I'm
admittedly fairly new to this, even though, you know, at this point I have at least an okay amount of experience. But it's awesome that that they stopped in and were willing to help out. So hopefully at some point, maybe collectively, we can get our stuff together and put up a decent score between one of us. 29041. We're coming close. Coming close. So that run, we were at 3195 on the core, 504 watts. This card has done better. 1625 on the memory. I don't want to push too high, just because once it started erroring out last time, I couldn't get it back. Oh, that was a killer run. That was like, we were up like, oh, that would have been a good one. Almost out of this. I have to switch over to the other thermos. Mid-run. Takes a lot of dexterity, you know? To be a pro overclocker like me, a lot of dexterity. A lot of wrists. 29094. So close to our all-time best. I mean, by super medium, I mean the best run we've ever had. That's what I meant by super medium. We beat our high score by 3 points. How killer. All right, well, at least we did it, right? Let's try to go up another bin on the core. 285. Well, that's not happy. Well, we got some artifacting. We just a little bit. Oh, that would have been a faster run. That would have been higher than 29124. What do you got for me, Port Royal? $29,159. Okay. All right. So that is a new personal best, 29159. I'm going to go cold. I'm going to go really cold. I got enough LN2. We could try this and then back off. So I'm going to try to go down to like, let's go a huge pour. We'll go down deep and we'll see what happens. Minus 98. Minus 99. Minus 100. I expect this to fail spectacularly. Yep. Can't even do anything. Let's warm you up, sir. An instant crash, you don't really know what's... Oh, my Lord. This is a weird run. If this completes, it's going to be a mega run. I'm expecting it to crash right here. It did not. This might be a mega run. Keep pushing through, please. This might be sick. L2 plus shrooms. Yeah. What am I even looking at right now? What is it? What is it? $34.08. $34.08. What? Where are we? What is that? What does that get me to? That's a world record. That is a world record run. 30,408 points. World record. You just witnessed it.
Now, after completing all my runs, I was able to speak with both Joe Stepanzi, Bearded Hardware, if you guys know him, as well as Der 8auer and Nori from Elmore Labs, who all basically told me that it's likely that my score is going to get pulled. And I understood that. That's something that obviously 3D Mark has to go through and validate all the scores that come in. The score that we posted that ended up being a world record was clearly not really a valid run because of all the artifacting and how the system wasn't necessarily rendering every single frame that it was supposed to. So I'm okay with that score being pulled, even though it is very unfortunate. I woke up this morning, checked the leaderboard, and yeah, it was gone. But I still had some liquid nitrogen left over from last night's live stream. So I tried a different RTX 4090. I popped my Gigabyte OC 4090 on the bench, flashed the same BIOS that we used on the Strix card. So that is an unlocked power and unlocked voltage BIOS to that card. and then went to work. The Gigabyte card I had tried before, and while the core isn't quite as strong as the Strix card, the memory is actually crazy good. I was able to push that memory further than any other 4090 that I have. And in this overclocking session, we were able to get it up to plus 1850 in MSI Afterburner. Now, because Port Royal really likes high memory speeds, this allowed me to push my scores higher and higher. And as I was experimenting with a combination of clocks and memory, I was able to get eventually up over 29,000 and then cracked 30,000 on my last run. So as of the filming of this video, I have the number 2 score on the 3D Mark Port Royal leaderboard as opposed to last night when I had the number 1 score. That's okay, we'll still keep working on this. And I am going to be working with both Der8auer and with Elmore Labs to hopefully resolve some of the issues that we found while pushing this card last night on the live stream. Now, I hope that the score that I posted today sticks. I think it's a more valid score, but I guess that's up to 3D Mark to determine. The memory clocks that I was able to achieve on the Gigabyte card really allowed the score to push up beyond that 30K mark. And, you know, I don't know, fingers crossed that it stays there for good. But we will be revisiting this at a later time. I'd like to do more with this card in particular. And you guys should stay tuned to the channel for that because we'll likely be doing another live stream probably next week sometime to see what kind of scores we can get. So thanks so much for tuning into this recap. I know that it was kind of impromptu and this might not look the prettiest, but if you guys enjoy this kind of content, make sure you let me know down below. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time.